Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. In today's episode, let us discuss on big data analytics. Before we understand what is big data all about, let us spend some time and understand what is analytics. For me, it's a broad term when we say analytics because it's a combination of a process, a technology, frameworks, algorithms. We are making use of all these components to see how do we extract meaningful insights from a data. So raw data in itself doesn't have any meaning until unless you contextualized and processed into a useful information, isn't it? So fundamentally, it's nothing but you extract and create an information from your raw data by applying certain techniques such as filtering, processing, categorizing, condensing, contextualizing. So these are some of the mechanisms through which you understand the data better. So the choice of analytics is dependent on three things: to predict something, to find the patterns in the data, to find the relationships in the data. So what I mean by to predict something, for example, whether a transaction is a fraud or not. To find the patterns in the data, what I mean by that, let's say you wanted to find the top 10 coldest days in the year. The other one is finding a relationship in the data. For example, you want to find a similar news articles, or you wanted to find a similar related products in your e-commerce websites. These are some of the examples. Let us understand what are the different types of analytics. 1. Descriptive analytics. 2. Diagnostic analytics. 3. Predictive analytics. And 4. Prescriptive analytics. Descriptive analytics. So you already have a past data that helps you to analyze much better to take a present day decisions. So the main purpose of descriptive analytics is to answer what has happened. It has a certain statistics functions, for example, count, maximum, minimum, mean, etc. So let me give a simple example. If you want to compute the total number of likes for your social media post, or you wanted to compute what is the total monthly rainfall happened, or you wanted to find an average number of visitors per month on your websites. So using this descriptive analytics mainly useful to summarize this data. Diagnostic analytics. It's mainly used to analyze your past data to diagnose certain reasons why certain events happened. The basic purpose of this diagnostic analytics is to answer why did it happen. So let's take an example. Let's say you have a system which collects and analyzes all your sensor data from your different machines for monitoring their health and predicting the failures. So using this descriptive analytics will help you to summarize your data with various statistics functions, as I just mentioned in the previous analytics types, which also has mean, minimum, maximum, etc. So these are all different techniques which helps you to get some more insights why certain fault has occurred. So based on certain patterns in the sensor data, so that you can get rid of the previous faults. Predictive analytics. Predictive analytics is mainly help you to answer what is likely to happen. For example, the main purpose to use this predictive analytics, let's say when a fault will occur for a given machine, or predicting when a tumor can become more severe, or you wanted to predict certain natural calamities, right? So these are some of the examples through which you understand why we use predictive analytics. So you already have certain data with you. So use these predictive models which will help you to train the existing data. So these models learn certain patterns, trends from the existing data and predict the occurrence for a given event, or likely when that event can occur. The accuracy of a prediction model depends on the quality and volume of your existing data. So that is available for your training the models, so that all your patterns and trends in the existing data can be learned very quickly. So before a model is used for any prediction, it must be validated with the existing data. So the way the typical approach most of the organization follows, so they divide the existing data into training data and test data. For example, 75% of the data is used for training and 25% of the data is used for testing the prediction model. Prescriptive analytics. So far you understood what is that predictive analytics all about, correct? So it helps you to predict the likely outcome of an event. But when we talk about prescriptive analytics, it uses multiple prediction models to predict various outcomes of an event. So it is picking up the best of the event when it is likely to occur. So prescriptive analytics mainly to answer what can we do make it happen. Let's take an example. So prescriptive analytics, where are they mainly used? They wanted to prescribe the best medicine for a treatment of a patient based on the outcomes of various medicines for similar patients. Or another example, let's say you have a mobile data plan or an internet plan. So you wanted to suggest the best mobile data plan for a customer based on the customer's browsing patterns. I hope you got the clarity. What are the different types of analytics? So descriptive analytics, it's mainly for reports and alerts. Diagnostic analytics, mainly for queries or data mining related areas. Predictive analytics for forecasting or simulations. Prescriptive analytics is for planning and optimization areas. Now let us understand what is big data all about. Big data is nothing but it's a collection of different data sets whose volume or velocity is so large so that it's very difficult to store, manage, process and analyze the data with your existing traditional databases or data processing tools. Because if you observe the recent times, there has been a lot of exponential growth in both structured and unstructured data which is generated by these new industry 4.0s, right? It can be IT, it can be industrial, healthcare, IoT or any other systems, because the kind of volumes these giants are generating is huge. So big data has a lot of potential to power next generation of smart applications. So those applications will leverage the power of data to make the applications much more intelligent. So you call it different domains, for example, web, retail, marketing, banking, financial, aspects, or healthcare, IoT. There's a lot of systems which is being used big data. So big data analytics mainly deals with collection, storage, processing and analyzing these massive scales of data. And there are specialized tools and frameworks which we need to understand the big data analytics. Let's look at some of the examples of big data. So the data generated by these social networks, it includes text, images, audio, video data. Or let's say you have healthcare data you are collecting with different health record systems, or logs generated by your web applications in your organization, or stock markets data, or transaction data generated by your banking and financial applications, or your clickstream data generated by your web applications from your e-commerce, just to analyze and understand the user behavior. These are some of the examples of big data. So far you understood what is big data all about and what are the different examples of big data. Now let's understand what are the characteristics of big data. It's usually called as 5 V's: volume, velocity, variety, veracity, value. Let's dive into understand each of these characteristics. Volume. A big data is a form of a data, as I just mentioned earlier. Because those volumes are so large, it will not fit onto a single machine. That is the reason why you have to have a specialized tools and frameworks to store, process, analyze such a massive data. For example, you have a social media applications, either it can be YouTube or a Twitter. It processes billions of messages every day. Or let's say you are into an industrial energy applications where you are managing, and it generates petabytes of sensor data every day. Or let's say you have a cab taxi application where it generates lots of data, and it has to process millions of transactions in a day. So you understand the pulse of the volumes of a data. The volumes of data generated by these industries, whether it can be industrial or healthcare, banking, e-commerce, their data is growing exponentially, and they have a primary goal to reduce the costs as well as the data storage, because the underlying processing structures what they have is very minimal. At the same time, they wanted to extract valuable insights from your data so that they can improve their business process or efficiency and service to the consumers. But let me tell you, there is no fixed threshold for the volume of data you consider as a big data. However, typically why I'm using the term big data is used for massive scale of data which is difficult to store and manage, a process using the existing traditional databases and data processing architectures. 2. Velocity. For me, velocity of data, how fast the data is generated, as simple as that. Because the data is generated by certain sources with a high velocities. It can be social media data or a sensor data. And velocity is very, very important characteristics of big data, because the primary reason is the data is exponentially growing on a daily basis. So some of the applications has their own deadlines for their data analysis. Either it can be a trading or online fraud application or any other banking application. And the data needs to be analyzed in very real time. So you need to have a specialized tools to understand how better we will ingest the data into such high velocity of underlying infrastructures which you guys have, and analyze the data in a real time. 3. Variety. Variety refers to the forms of the data. A big data comes from different forms. It can be structured, unstructured, or semi-structured. Includes your text data, image, audio, video, sensor data. So your big data systems needs to be so flexible enough to handle such variety of data. 4. Veracity. Veracity is mainly for how accurate is the data. So cleansing of a data is very, very important aspect when we talk about veracity. Extract the value from the data, the data has to be cleansed to remove any noises within the data. So therefore, cleansing of any data is very, very important so that incorrect and faulty data can be filtered out easily. The last one is about value. Value of a data. So for me, value of data is nothing but what is the usefulness of the data for which you are using for an intended purpose. So the end goal of any big data analytics system is to extract the value from the data. The value of the data is also, you can call it as a veracity or accuracy of a data, but some of the applications value also depends on how fast you are able to process the data. Understood? So these are the 5 V's, characteristics of big data. So far I covered with what is big data analytics all about, what are the different types of analytics, some of the examples of analytics, what is big data all about, What are the examples of big data? What are the characteristics of a big data? Now let us look at the final part. What are the use cases of a big data? Let's discuss now. Let us look at financial industries, how big data is being used. I will talk about two use cases. One, to understand the credit risk. Two, fraud detection. So if you look at any banking or financial institutions, they use credit risk modeling to score credit card applications, and they predict if any borrower will default or not in the future. As simple as that. But if you understand the credit risk models, mainly used for they wanted to understand the pulse of the customer data. It can be your credit card scores from the credit bureaus, or your credit history, your balance data, your transactions. There's a lot of various patterns of a customer. So these credit models, they generate different scores to summarize the credit worthiness of a customer. Since the volume of a customer's data is obtained from different sources, it can be also sometimes massive by nature. So that's the reason why they use the big data systems to build these credit models. So big data systems will help to compute the credit risk scores of a large number of customers on a regular basis. 2. Fraud detection. So banks or financial institutions, they want to leverage how to detect the frauds, such as your credit card frauds or money laundering or insurance claim frauds. There's various frauds which they deal with on a day in day out basis. So they use the real-time big data analytics frameworks to understand and analyze the data from different sources in a real time. So they also have their own internal engineering teams. They work on different machine learning models. They build different models to detect what are the anomalies of a given transactions, and that's how they detect the fraudulent activities. Let us understand some of the use cases from IoT industry. A smart parking. A smart parkings, they make the sets for a parking space easier, and which is convenient for any drivers. So they are powered by IoT systems. They detect where is the empty parking slots, and they send the information over the internet to your smart parking applications backend. So these applications will be accessed by the drivers from the smartphone or tablet, or your navigation systems within your car. So in this smart parking, they used a sensor for every parking slot to detect whether the slot is empty or occupied. So all this information you aggregated and sending back to your smart parking controller, and they send it back to the internet, and this is how the end-to-end will be managed by the big data analytics in the backend. 2. Smarter roads. A smarter roads also has its own sensors. They provide a lot of information on the driving conditions, or a travel time estimations, or some of the alerts if there is a poor weather conditions or driving conditions, or if there is any accident happens, that information is also has to be sent back. So all this information will help to make the roads very safer and help in reducing some of the traffic jams. The information whatever they are getting or sensed from the roads, they communicated back via internet to their cloud data or cloud-based their big data analytics platforms. Let's understand some of the use cases from environment industry. So environment monitoring systems, they generate high velocity and high volume of data. They need an accurate and timely analysis of such data so that it helps us to understand the current status of the environment, and it will help them to predict certain environmental trends. Some of the use cases. For example, weather monitoring. Weather monitoring systems, they will collect the data from a number of sensors. For example, temperature or a humidity or a pressure. All this data, they send it back to their cloud-based applications and big data analytics backends. Again, this data they will analyze and visualize for monitoring weather and generating weather alerts. Another use case for noise pollution monitoring. Because we are growing in urban development, these noise levels in every cities have increased a lot, and some of the cities are very alarmingly high. So noise pollution can cause health hazards for humans due to sleep disruption and stress. The main purpose of this noise pollution monitoring systems, it helps some of the noise maps for certain cities. And these noise monitoring systems will have its own noise monitoring stations, which are deployed in every cities. So the data from noise levels from these stations, they collect by the sensors, they send them to the cloud-based applications and the big data analytics backends. And the collected data is then aggregated to generate certain noise maps. Let's understand some of the use cases from logistics and transportation. Real-time fleet tracking. So if you are having a large-scale vehicle fleet tracking systems, so you use a GPS system to track the location of a vehicles in a real time. So this is a common nature of a tracking for a big logistics companies. So they have this cloud-based fleet tracking systems. They can scale up on demand to handle large number of vehicles. And alerts also will generate if there is a deviation in the planning routes or if there is a challenge in the fleet vehicle. So big data systems, they use to aggregate and analyze these vehicle locations and the different routes to understand what are the different bottlenecks in your supply chain. It could be your traffic conjunctions on routes, or you wanted to rearrange assignment of different alternative routes, or you wanted to optimize your supply chain. Second, shipment monitoring. If you understand transport systems, every transport system has a shipment management solution, mainly for monitoring the conditions of inside the containers. Every container, they carry a huge amount of fresh food, for different days altogether or different months altogether in the containers. So someone has to be monitored to understand whether the food is got spoiled or not. So the shipment monitoring systems, they have their own sensors, such as temperature, pressure, humidity, etc. So with all these sensors, they monitor the conditions inside the containers and they send the data back to the cloud. That is the reason why they wanted to analyze to detect the food spoilage. The analysis and interpretation of the data on the environmental conditions within the container and the food truck positioning, everything they will sense it based on those sensors. It is easy to take a remedial measures. Okay, if the food has a limited time budget before it gets rotten, it has to be rerouted to certain closer destinations, or some of the alerts, they have to send it back to the drivers. So these are some of the various use cases within logistics and transportation industry. Let's understand some of the use cases in retail industry. Retail industry, they use big data systems for boosting their sales, increase the profits, and improving the customer satisfaction. One of the most used industry from a big data point of view. Let's understand some of the use cases. So you might notice the customer recommendations. So they use big data systems to analyze your customer data. It can be your demographic data or shopping history, or maybe your customer feedbacks. Using these parameters, they predict the customer preferences. And new products, they will recommend to the customers based on your preferences and personalized offers. And sometimes you might get discounts as well. So customers with similar preferences, they will group them and they started campaigning towards those created customers. Another use case within retail industry, forecasting demand. Due to large number of products and you have a seasonal variations in terms of demands changing trends and customer preferences. You as a retailer will have always a challenge in terms of understand what is the forecast demand and sales volumes. So big data systems will help you to understand, analyze customer purchase patterns and predict the demand and sales volumes. I hope you got clarity on these various use cases in different industries, how big data is being used. Thank you so much for your time and listening. In the next episode, I will talk about some of the life cycle of a big data and other big data ecosystem components.